clips, like you see how like me and him was talking, and then somebody else talked like in his crew. That's what get me up. Like that's what made me like. I always want to prove to somebody that I'm like.
Time is passing, but it might be passing more quickly for Lamont Roach than for the rest of us. Roach is going to enter the arena against the face of boxing, an unbeaten fighter with 28 knockouts, and the man who has defeated him twice. Tank has been pouring gasoline with his brief warnings, even though the psychological weight of facing Tank is insufficient.
I promise you, you better lead them home. You better lead the females home. On my mother, you better lead the females home and the kids. On my mother. Yeah, now watch this. Now watch.
Even though Lamont Roach claims he is confident in his abilities and that nothing threatens him, he secretly knows that he might be the 29th knockout on Tank's record, as Tank made explicit during a recent press conference.
I say 9th round.
What?
I say 9th round.
You said 9th?
Yeah.
What's your response to that, Lamont?
Look, he got scared. Look. He looked at tight.
I'm telling him, you saying you going down in a 9th?
Although some boxing fans might not consider this fight to be a major event, an intriguing number of insiders think that Davis, also known as the Reaper, could be the ideal opponent to test him. Roach has established a reputation as a fighter who can surprise opponents with his power and skill, something Tank has even discussed. There is even talk that Roach could pull off a huge upset, which would further boost Roach's career and dampen Davis's final chapter.
I think he actually took this fight for the naysayers and all this and all the people talk about the fight. I think he actually took the fight because he know that I'm a dog, and he want to prove his skills against the dog. So I'm gonna show y'all what happens when two dogs get in the ring together. And
Davis even went so far as to announce that the fight had been canceled, much to the dismay of boxing fans worldwide. However, things have since calmed down and both fighters are now in full preparation mode, training diligently, concentrating on their game plans, and getting ready for what is expected to be one of the most highly anticipated bouts of the year. Despite the fact that the fight is officially back on, Davis couldn't help but stir up some controversy. Fans were alarmed and perplexed by a mysterious message he recently put on X.
Little big bro coming out with the upset. A lot of people are going to pick Tank going into that fight, but how do you see that playing out?
I see my brother walking out victorious. There's no doubt, not because it's my brother, but because I've seen him.
When Davis posted on X, the words "fighting for my life" instantly drew the attention of his millions of followers, sparking a flurry of conjecture about what he meant. Was he discussing a personal struggle like mental health issues? Or was he referring to the intensity of his training camp and how much this fight means to him? Fans were left hunting for explanations due to the vagueness. Davis revealed a little bit about his recent struggles during the press conference before the fight. He said, "Boxing has been my life, but it's weighing heavy on me now, and I'm thinking more about my family than the ring these days." Davis acknowledged that boxing demands have been harsh on his mental health for years. Although Davis is regarded as one of the game's fiercest fighters, even the most formidable champion has weaknesses. Many fans were moved by his candor because they understood the strain that comes with becoming the best in the sport.
Just overall being something that he's not been in the ring with. I'm the total package, and honestly, sometimes I think he doubts himself. But I'm a competitor, and I feel like I'm the best. So I'm a show up.
When he talks about you not bringing your family, what goes through your mind when you hear him say that?
I ain't worried about that.
Concerned fans deluged Dav's social media comments in the hours after his mysterious post. One fan wrote, "That sounds scary," expressing the general uneasiness that many felt after seeing the tweet. Another fan attempted to offer support by writing, "Keep fighting, champ," in an attempt to uplift Davis's spirits. Since Davis's fan following has grown close to him over the years, having seen his highs and lows, and are now supporting him once more, these kinds of encouraging remarks have become typical whenever he shares something really personal. Fans were left on edge and eager for more information, as one fan expressed genuine concern for Davis's well-being by writing, "Damn, that's cryptic." The message's ambiguity left a lot of room for interpretation, and many fans couldn't help but wonder what Davis was really trying to say. Was it a warning that something was wrong, or was it just a reflection of his determination to give it his all in this fight? In any case, fans were left feeling tense and eager for more details.
No, I think Lamont Roach is a terrific fighter. He might be a little over his head with Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis is, to say the least, he's a beast. He really is. He's a tremendous fighter.
Despite all the rumors, Davis offered another update soon after publishing his enigmatic statement, ensuring that the discussion didn't go on in ambiguity for very long. Given that Davis has already declared that 20125 will be his final year in the sport, which means that every fight from now on is part of his farewell tour that fans are anticipating. This brief and direct statement seemed to indicate that Davis was fully focused on the upcoming fight, regardless of any emotional or mental obstacles he may be facing. He appears ready to channel that energy into his performance in the ring. This may be one of Davis's final opportunities to establish himself, and he appears committed to leaving a legacy that solidifies his status among the greats. He is getting ready to give it everything he has.
It's the wrestling fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Roach always, he come to fight. And I think it's a great fight. Everybody talking all that stuff about, why Roach? Because he signed and took the fight, you know what I'm saying? And it's good for the community.
When Davis and Lamont Roach exchanged verbal jabs during the fight's press conference, their tension reached a breaking point. Davis made it clear that he had no intention of taking this fight lightly when he suddenly exploded with a fierce warning, shouting, "I will tear you apart." This outburst wasn't just trash talk, it was a declaration of war, and the Roach was not intimidated. "You've been running scared for months now. It's time to back those words up." The exchange demonstrated how intensely personal this battle has become, with Davis, who is known for having a hot temper, obviously feeling the strain, yet Roaching is committed to demonstrating that he is more than just a name on Davis's resume.
Beat his ass for y'all talking. For real. So I better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if y'all was
all that
quiet, y'all
mess
if
and
y'all
all
was
that.
loud.
We got
the
whole
hood over there,
like,
Fans and observers are more eager than ever to watch how this bout unfolds. Will Davis's rage transfer into a dominant performance, or will Roach utilize that emotion against him? The press conference ended without any physical altercations, but the verbal sparring left a lasting effect. Throughout his career, Davis has developed a devoted following that has supported him through thick and thin. They have witnessed him ascend to fame through knockout victories and watched as he navigated personal struggles outside the ring. This most recent saga is just another chapter in Davis's complicated story and shows how crucial the mental game is, and both fighters are playing it to perfection. His supporters are prepared to stand behind him at every turn.
No one's been able to solve Tank Davis. What do you need to do together with you and your team and obviously your son to score that victory?
We got a game plan. We're going to execute it, and we're going to get the
move
results.
move that head, bob and weave.
With less than 4 weeks until fight night, the fans' excitement for the fight is growing. The fight is scheduled for March 1st at Brooklyn's Barclays Center, and both fighters are stepping up the intensity with training videos and audacious statements. One fan expressed confidence in Davis's ability to overcome any obstacle, writing, "Tank's been through worse. He'll come out of this stronger." Another added, "This fight's going to be special. You can see it in his eyes." Have just fueled the flames, yet despite all the excitement, not everyone is certain that this battle will fulfill the fans' expectations. Is it possible that this is just another bout meant to keep Davis occupied rather than test his limits?
Hey, can't even see who it is. Hey, who is the dude? Who is the dude?
And that right there is why Gervonta.
Lamont Roach Jr. recently caused a sensation in the boxing community with his bold prediction of an upset after premier boxing champions released a promotional video of Davis on Instagram and then reposted it with a message, "Upset alert." Although he has gained recognition in the super featherweight division, Roach has yet to face a fighter of Davis's caliber, and his record is an astounding 25-1 with 10 Burmese shots. Roach's TKO triumph over Foul MCC proved that he could dominate in the ring, but taking on Davis at lightweight is a whole different task. Many fans believe Davis is a knockout machine, having stopped Frank Martin in the 8th round in his most recent victory. Few fighters have ever been able to hold out against Davis for the entire distance, and his knockout power has been steady for more than 10 years in June. Roach appears unfazed by these obstacles, and his confidence has raised concerns about whether he is privy to information that the rest of the world is not. Could his team have detected a flaw in Davis's conditioning or style, or is Roach merely attempting to gain insight into Davis's mind? A recent training video of Davis working on his hand speed with trainer Patrice Boo Harris appeared online. Reactions to the video were divided, while several fans appreciated Davis's intensity and swift uppercuts. Critics noted that Davis was slower than normal, and some even implied that Shakur Stevenson could easily outpace him in a speed competition, while others expressed dismay.
Would you be content if you won this and that's your last fight? Or nah, still some more heads you gotta put on the wall?
Yeah, it's definitely some more heads to put on the wall, for sure. But
additionally, there was criticism of the fight itself, with many supporters wondering why Davis was competing against Roach rather than more well-known opponents like Shakur Stevenson. Vasyl Lomachenko or Devin Haney, "This isn't the battle we wanted," a passionate fan said, adding that Tank ought to be pushing himself and not taking easy fights. The weight disparity is a crucial element in this matchup. Von moving up in weight could put Roach at a disadvantage because Davis is known for his power and ability to absorb punches, but Roach's speed and agility could help neutralize Davis's strengths if he can control and avoid Davis's power shots. Davis is a natural lightweight, while Roach competes in the super featherweight division. The fight's tempo, an upset might not be as unlikely as it first appears.
It's gonna be a party on your floor.
I'm gonna let y'all know something. His father was up here shaking on the what's name. He was shaking on the
Thank everybody that played a part in it. My team, Roberto Diaz, Gary Jonas.
On my kids, he was shaking on his hand. On my kids, he was shaking. How you gonna say his cap? It gotta be. You gonna say his cap? I'm watching him. Gotta be.
While detractors are not new to Davis, there is growing pressure on him to take on more difficult opponents. Fans want to see him in marquee fights against fighters like Kezan Davis or Stevenson Haney. Anything less feels like a lost chance. With Davis at the height of his career, every fight matters, and fans are tired of matches that seem more like placeholders than real tests that stated that it's worth asking whether Davis's camp is playing the long game by keeping Davis active with fights like this. However, boxing is as much about legacy as it is about victories, and Davis's legacy won't be solidified until he faces the greatest of the best.
I don't know Lamont Roach, but you know, when you're looking at Shakur Stevenson, when you're looking at, you know, these other fights that he should really be fighting, you know, he don't want to do them fights. He wants to retire. Yeah. So don't come and but don't come and come at me and go, oh yeah, let's.
This battle represents Lamont Roach Jr.'s once-in-a-lifetime chance. A triumph against Gervonta Davis would launch him into superstardom, and pave the way for greater compensation and title chances. If he can withstand Davis's early onslaught and carry the fight into the later rounds, Roach is a dangerous opponent due to his confidence and sound boxing principles. Anything can happen. Tank Kenny Ellis Gervonta Davis's coach stated unequivocally that he supports his fighter's decision to defend the WBA lightweight belt against Lamont Roach Jr. Ellis has come under fire for defending the bout, which many fans view as just another instance of Tank avoiding dangerous battles, while Ellis commended Roach's lineage. But many were dubious, viewing the bout as just another safe, boring bout. Roach is a tough, skilled fighter, according to Ellis, but some fans don't believe him. One of Ellis's main arguments is that, despite his amazing 7-time national champion amateur record, Pooh's professional success hasn't entirely transitioned to the professional level. His record is good, but not stellar. There are serious concerns about Pooh's ability to compete at the Tank level after his defeat to Jamal Herring a few years ago and his razor-thin victory over Hector Luis Garcia, a fighter who was easily Tank knocked out. Critics contend that Ellis may be exaggerating Pooh's reputation to make the fight appear more competitive than it actually is.
When they start talking, when the people who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get them. I'ma beat his ass.
He can't
y'all
do
talk.
shit.
For real, y'all better be quiet.
I don't give a fuck if
quiet,
y'all was quiet.
Not only are fans angry about the choice of Roach, but they are also tired of a trend that has been present throughout his career. Critics claim that Tank should be competing against elite lightweights like Andy Cruz, Raymond Morala, and William Zapp. Tank has frequently been accused of taking on opponents who are smaller, weaker, or just not on his level. Edwin de Los Santos, Keem Davis, and Floyd Scofie, many of these fighters, have called out Tank or shown interest in a fight with Ellis. But Ellis maintains that Tank isn't avoiding anyone by advising other fighters to undercut Tank or turn him down. But fans aren't persuaded because Tank is a boxing superstar, and there are plenty of boxers who would be thrilled to compete with him.
I'm gonna beat his ass if y'all talking. Y'all better be quiet.
Ellis' remarks regarding Tank and Roach's sparring history also caused some people to take notice. He stated that the two engaged in multiple amateur fights and sparring sessions, with Tank emerging victorious. Ellis seems to minimize the significance of sparring sessions and maintains that Tank's previous opponents frequently claimed to have defeated him in sparring only to lose handily on fight night. However, bringing up these old sparring anecdotes doesn't really get fans excited about this matchup, and could even suggest that Tank's team prefers comfort and familiarity to genuine challenges. Ellis also discussed Tank's attitude before the battle, saying that he was an equal sign, that Tank simply enjoys fighting and doesn't give a damn if it's against well-known fighters or obscure opponents.
What?
Who said that? You said
My
what?
man over
You
there
said
said
what?
bet.
Yeah, that's why I've been waiting for the niggas to talk. How much you want back? How much you want to bet? Because I came up here alone. How much y'all want back? How much you...
Fans who want to see Tank take on legacy-defining battles find Ellis' easygoing approach aggravating, as he seems unconcerned about the prospect of matches against Shakur Stevenson or Vas Lomachenko, stating that if those men decide to fight him one day, they can get it. If not, life goes on. Ellis's comments imply that they are more interested in keeping Tank occupied than in encouraging him to achieve greatness. If Kenny Ellis were open about the fan backlash, it might indicate that he is aware of the criticism, but instead he is relying heavily on Roach's amateur accolades and making excuses about other fighters' unavailability, which some fans and analysts believe is just an attempt to sell a fight that no one really wants, as damage control instead of sincere faith in the fight.
Would you consider you and Gervonta friends?
Friends? Probably.
Is it gonna be hard to go in the ring and fight your friend?
Not at all.
Are you all gonna be friends after?
Yeah, why not?
Either way it goes.
Both making money.
But you guys are making each other bleed.
Hopefully I just make him bleed.
True.
Ellis's contention that Tank is not to blame for the perceived dearth of good opponents is among the most controversial. Ellis emphasized over and again that the Tank team attempted to secure larger clashes, but was unable to do so because of the opponent's high demands. However, both boxing insiders and fans have questioned how accurate this is. Other fighters like Raymond Murala and William Zappa have also had impressive runs and could easily be positioned as credible challengers. The fact that none of these fighters were selected raises the question of whether Tank and his team are purposefully picking easier opponents. Andy Cruz and Kezin Davis are up-and-coming stars who would probably accept any offer to fight Tank.
Here's my take on the fight. Everything is true about this situation. One, Gervonta Tank Davis was being ducked leading up to this. Shakur Stevenson.
Simply put, spectators want to watch the finest Tank fight because of his talent and knockout power. However, his resume has been criticized for lacking when marquee defeats elite competition. A fighter like Shakur Stevenson or Vasily Lomachenko would be a formidable obstacle and could advance Tank's career. But as long as bouts like the one against Lamont Roach Jr. continue to be made, fans will continue to question whether Tank is avoiding the hardest opponents. In the end, Kenny Ellis's defense of this fight hasn't done much to alter public opinion of CH. Even though he may sincerely believe in Roach's skills, the fight feels lackluster in comparison to what fans were hoping for.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's going to go. Tank going to be losing the first 3 rounds. Then he's going to download the data. Then he going to knock this dude out in round 7 or 8. Then he going to do the backflip. Then Jim Gray's going to get in the ring, or Caleb Plant's wife, and say, who do you want next? And Tank's going to say, I want all those guys. And they're going to go to the press conference, and Elliot Setback's going to say, who do you want next? He say, I want.
Although there may be some validity to Ellis's remarks of fighters pricing themselves out or turning Tank down, they also seem like justifications. Tank is a star who can attract sizable pay-per-view audiences, and there are plenty of opponents eager to challenge him. Fans will continue to demand more, and if bouts like this one go on, Tank's legacy may suffer. Ultimately, Ellis's role is to defend and promote his fighter, but in doing so, he may unintentionally expressing exactly how fans feel about the ongoing hunt for safer, simpler fights, the absence of marquee matchups, and the lack of risk if the Tank, in order to silence his detractors and establish himself as one of the greatest in the sport, Davis must begin competing in bouts that fans genuinely want to see. Until then, remarks like Ellis will only serve to the claim that Tank is being cautious. Nevertheless, boxing is unpredictable. Whether this fight turns out to be a showcase for Davis or the beginning of a new chapter for Roach, one thing is for sure. Roach has the abilities to make it more competitive than people anticipate. And if Davis enters the battle unprepared or overconfident, an upset might be imminent. What do you think about March 1st being a night to remember? Please leave your comments below, and remember to like and subscribe for future updates.